crawl on the track like a centipede. Flip a table in the den of thieves. Who ain't paying dues, they buying their views and taking up space like Apollo 3. But we really rock it with ours. Out of this world with the bars. Should be a celebrity bodyguard. How I shoot for the stars. Elevating until I reach a whole constellation. I treat the scene like a light bright. Rearrange it to my own creation. It's no illusion, we're never losing. You think they winning and it's so amusing. Cause they got a bag with their pieces compromised. Wondering why life is so confusing. Keeping my soul low key. I'm riding with God like Peter. But don't get it twisted, they come for me once and you won't see their face like Sia. I got it covered, my gravy dope. All over the biscuit till you choke. Never water it down and have higher hopes that you see my name through your telescope. I shoot for the stars, never thought I'd get this far. Rocking it way past Mars. Supernovas, quasars. How I shoot for the stars. Big banging through the universe. Got it all on my own, straight out the dirt. Hit my target when I go to work. When I shoot for the stars. Keeping it fly as an asteroid. Headed for Earth through the blackest void. On the radar is a threat now. When I hit, everything will be destroyed. You can't escape, embrace the fate. Like an inmate's last dinner plate. I'm serving a hell of a dish. Enjoy every bit before you disintegrate. I penetrate through the atmosphere. Put them all on the run like a ton of deer. Trying to flee from a wildfire, but they turn to venison when I'm near. Too hot, scalding. My flame from the era that's golden. And if you ask me to bring the heat, my answer is molten. Keep more lava than Hawaii. Magma be the flow that's finery. Stay erupting on every doubter. And doing with Pompeii grimery. Make sure my impression's felt just like a sting that'll make you welt. Haters itch for my downfall, but I'm choking them all with Orion's belt. Never thought I'd get this far. Rocking it way past Mars. Supernovas, quasars. How I shoot for the stars. Big banging through the universe. Got it all on my own, straight out the dirt. Hit my target when I go to work. When I shoot for the stars.
Oh, we here. We got a queen repping the hip hop dance hall. Tati B. No, so I don't have to.
Tati B. He said Tati B. Yeah. Tati B.
I'm excited to have you. I'm excited to have you, man. You know, we was introduced by a mutual friend.
Yes. Sham Bam.
I begin to see that you like to do a lot of things involving the youth. Why do you feel like it's imperative to keep the youth involved and out of the streets?
There's a lot of reasons. One thing that comes to mind is just learning how to pass the mantle. You know, like sometimes we forget that the children are our future. Like Whitney Houston said it the best, right? She believes the children are our future. They are. Because after a while, like when people don't like to hear it, we age. You get what I'm saying? And when we age out, we gotta pass this information and give it to our youth. So as they get older, they're able to pass that information and lead. So when it comes to the young generation and these kids, that's why it's that important for me to be able to give back in ways that is purposeful for them to, you know, to continue to be, like just be, and be able to have a legacy of their own so that other people could, gravitate to or look up to.
Right. I did this wrong. So tell the people all the many hats that you wear. Let them know the many hats you wear.
I love how you said that, because I think of my godfather. I'd be like, yo, this guy wears so many hats. Shout outs to Rich. I own my own dance company, by the way, called Hip Hop Dance Theater. It was founded in 2013. So we're going on like 10 years plus with the dance company itself. I'm a mother of two. I have a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old. I say that proudly on lots of levels because they changed my life. Not only that, I refuse to be that parent to say I wasn't able to follow my dreams, or I wasn't able to accomplish certain things because being a young parent and not being able to do so. I'm happy to be a mom and still live out my purpose and my dream in life. I'm also a chaplain. Those who may not know what a chaplain is similar to, a pastor, being able to preach, work in ministry and everything. I could do ceremonies such as weddings and funerals and everything. I do consider myself a boss. And when I say that, I mean from the standpoint of I've done found myself in situations where I was able to just help someone else out. I feel like that's the real title of a boss. Like I was able to put other people in a situation where they was able to eat just as wealthy as I was, or whatever that situation, whatever that situation was. Um, I have a great reputation when it comes to the streets, the dance world, my legacy from the lifey culture. Shout outs to AG, the voice of Harlem, Young B, Jason Fox, J Mac. We like the beginning of that dance style, which today they basically call that like you know, the new break dance. Yeah, like I'm known from that era. Titled Princess of Street Dance.
How old are you?
Forever 21.
All right, so young B is from my hood, right? So I'm from Broadway and she's from Hamilton, really.
Uh-huh.
Um, she's only, I
Don't do
want to say 3 or 4 years younger than me. So you are 30 or 31.
Nah, I'm
All
no baby.
right.
Like I tell everybody, like if you try to do the math, it's gonna like you're gonna get a headache or something. So just know that anytime you have my birthday, it's 21 on my cake. I don't age. That's it. Don't hurt your head. Next question.
Nah, I'm speculating based on the people that you just mentioned. So,
You can,
you know,
you know,
um, but this
you know people.
we um you mentioned something earlier that I want to just tap into real quick before we get into your different hats. You was talking about mental health and how real it is.
Yeah.
Um, I wish that I would have actually had you on the show 2 3 weeks ago because I have a friend named D Banger who has his own podcast called Being Your Own Therapist, and
Hmm.
he has different um mental health issues.
Okay.
He and I spoke, and I was just telling him about the power of God or whatnot.
Come on.
Um, do you agree that people that generally may or may not really have these mental health issues, they really forget that they can go to God and their faith is gonna make them well?
I won't use the fact that they will forget. I I may answer it in a way. This is the best way I can answer that. I don't think it's about them forgetting. I honestly believe sometimes it's the not knowing, right? Because people take age, they think because you're a certain age, you just need to know certain things, right? I just honestly believe it just takes the right direction. It just takes the right direction and the right person. I really don't put age on things. I don't put the mental state so much as the main thing that takes over, because if you was to hear some of the testimonies from people that have been drug addicts at one point of their lives, or who has been suicidal at one point in their lives, who are living today, they have a testimony. And 9 times out of 10, when you hear that story, it was either someone, you understand, that directed them in a place where they was able to center themselves, because they knew somewhere deep down they didn't want to be that person, right? So they needed that guidance and just needed to be put in the right situation. So I won't use the word forget, because some people never been introduced or may not know. So I want to use the term forget. I think yeah, that's how I would answer that. I, yeah, you just need the right people around you and the right guidance, and
I
you
mean,
got to want the change.
I only ask that because of two different things. Like I say this to a lot of people. Oftentimes, you know, people use different things that they diagnose with as a crutch. As a crutch to stay stagnant in a certain behavior pattern.
Okay.
Um, but then the second thing is that when you go by what you're diagnosed with, you start to take on that as a representation of who you are, not what God called you to be, right?
Come on.
So that's the I may have used the word forget, or whatever the case might be, but um, generally I just feel like in most cases a person that suffers from any kind of traumatic experience will use it as a crutch, forgetting. I mean, just so that they won't have to um
Deal.
experience rehabilitation through the power of God.
Well, if I could chime, right? It's something I've learned through my chaplaincy, right? The words that we choose, right? You know how you sat there and said, I probably said forgot or forget, but I didn't. The words that we choose to describe a situation or explain to someone something plays a big role, however you put it, right? So when I hear the word crutch, right? I give you a perfect example. Someone diagnosed my son for what you call that thing when you just move around and you all over the place. Too much energy.
What, ADD, ADHD?
Absolutely. I'm sitting in the school, they talking. I believe he has such and such. And I looked at her and I said, so you're diagnosing my child? No, he's just a kid. He's 5 years old. He's sitting down all day, but when he got energy. That's a 5-year-old, right? So one thing I don't agree with is being diagnosed with something without really being able to get to know that person or whatever the case might be. But one thing I also disagree with is the crutch thing. I don't honestly feel that, because in some cases it's not about the person using it as an excuse, like I'm crutched, I can't move on. Sometimes it is just that, is they don't know how. So if I go to the doctor or whatever and they say I'm this, okay, what 9 times out of 10, what are they going to give you? They're going to give you some medicine, some drugs, and then to them that's they how. You get what I'm saying? That's they how, because that's who they went to. But if they have, in all humbleness, maybe someone like you, not maybe you, someone someone like me, to talk to them, try to get to like the hitting point of why they in this state. It could have been something from childhood, right? And where they actually being able to deal with the issue. That's the thing. They're not able to deal with the issue. And so, yes, it could look like they being crutched or using it as an excuse. Little do we know, we enter in their life and they didn't deal with the issue on hand. You got to deal with the issue. Off, you got to deal with the issue, and that
Right.
takes time. So it's a lot of levels to that. It's a lot of levels to that. There's a lot of levels to that.
Right. Somebody, I can see comments that you can't. So somebody just asked, "Are you single?"
Am I single? I don't put that personal information out there. I don't get that personal with my life.
Just tell them you married to Jesus. You a chaplain. But that's simple,
But
right?
no, that is a given. That's right. He's like, just say you.
I'm a,
That's a given.
I'm
That's
gonna answer it for you
I
since you
like
don't want to put it out there. um um what really, what did it feel like your introduction to dancing? Like how does dancing make you feel?
like I said in one of my interviews prior, like it's therapeutic. Um, there's really no technicality to it. Like, when it comes to my dancing, since a little girl, it was just something that I was able to go to and have some type of release. So, like, literally, I could be upset, mad, a song plays and the beat is bumping, I dance, I feel great right after. So, and even the choice of music, sometimes it's like I want to listen to my R&B right now. I want to be in my feelings, right? But I'm also going to be jamming, enjoying myself, whether it's a two-step or whatever. So dance is definitely an outlet and is very therapeutic when it comes, when, you know, as far as what it is in my world.
Do you so you 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 had me post something to your son, right? Um did was that a real proud moment for you at the moment when your son was able to include something of such and
Yo,
make it a dance out of it? Like it was
so Stacks, let me tell you, he was supposed to do laundry, right? I'm like, you know what? He does a lot. I have great kids. So I go downstairs, I do laundry, I come upstairs, and he got my robe on and everything. It wasn't planned. It wasn't nothing. So when I opened the door, he froze like, like he was doing something he wasn't supposed to do. He's like, "Mom, yeah, I did a video, but I was trying to hurry up because I didn't want you to catch me with the outfit on." I said, "No, baby, do what you do." Like I was
right.
he don't even know what he did. You understand? Like I think he know, but I don't know if he know. Like my kid, like my baby had my robe on. He had a Bible in his hand. You get what I'm saying? Talking about preacher, and I'm like, this is my child. So yes, I know that was nothing but God. Like when I say proud moment, it just made me say it that was confirmation from God. Like, yo, Ma, you dope. That's how I
Right,
take it.
right, right. Right. So now here's what's funny, right? I don't have any biological kids, right? But I've been raising a little boy since he was 4 months old,
Oh,
and he's about to be 17 in March,
woo,
right?
come on.
And I remember years back I was in prison, and I was talking to him, and he was like, "Can you pray with me?" And it made me like I was overjoyed because I remember the times where, like, even on my birthday, I believe it was like 2013 or 2013. My birthday was on a Sunday. So I remember taking him to church, and we went from one church to another. We went from the church I was going to the next church. And like he got up, even though he was being silly and making fun of the people that was catching the Holy Spirit and their facial expressions, he was being silly. He didn't realize what he was doing. So in his innocence, right? It was like, but it was something that he grew into eventually. And in the midst of this phone call, he's like, "Can you pray with me?" And I'm like, "Yo, like I did something right." Like
Mm,
with all of the, you feel me? So like I asked that just because of that, because I know that as you are a reflection of God, your kids are a reflection of you. So
yes.
those are the proud moments that you'll have when you see them illustrating your conduct, so to speak, right?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Um, what really made you tap into wanting to be a chaplain?
So,
You get excited about a lot of questions too. I'm starting to see your energy.
I, oh, this is me. I'm telling you, and there's a lot of why you see that too. But anyway, um, in my truth, let's just use COVID. This whole time, COVID done started everything. I had a lot of time just to reflect on who I wanted to be, right, and who God needed me to be. And I say that like that purposely because there's a lot that I wanted to do. You understand? There's a lot that I just wanted to do. I knew who I wanted to be. And I just had we all had a lot of time on our hands. And around that time frame, I was moving in ways that I just I wasn't sleeping good at night. I wasn't happy. And I'm like, God, like in this moment, and if any of y'all, if y'all follow me on Instagram, it's Tati B 89, TATIB 89. If you scroll all the way down to my last three videos, you'll see me praise dancing. One of those videos, I'm in a white dress. That was just the beginning. The other video, I'm in a brown dress. That brown dress was my crossover moment. I didn't even know it was my crossover moment. This is during the whole time when COVID was going down. I was like, let me just dance to Yolanda Adams. I just want to dance to this song. This song is in my spirit. I want to move to this song. I danced to the song. Shortly after I was done, my godfather was on his way to come see me because he was, you know, he always would check on me. He comes to the door and I just burst out crying. Listen, I don't know. I was just crying. Like I just fell in his arm. I was crying. And that at that moment, I just knew what it was. I'm like, I don't want to be her no more. I don't want to be this girl no more. I want to be who God wants me to be. Like I feel what he has for me and I want it. I want it now. And Bible study started happening with my godmother. He gave me a Bible, but I never opened it yet. Because I'm like, I don't want to open that Bible until my father tells me to open it. My godfather, my spiritual father. But my godfather gave me a Bible. And my godmother was like, let's start doing Bible study. The Lord told me then, open that Bible. So we would do Bible study 3 days out the week. 3 days out the week. I was at the beach with my Bible, doing Bible study. I was everywhere, making sure it happens. After a while, shortly before you know it, my godfather was just saying, yo, you're not yo. Well, we talk like that. Started talking to me about, you know, this whole chaplain thing. And I'm like, all right, let's go. It's just, I was like, let's go, let's do it. And if you see a year ago or two, what I had thought of being a chaplain, this wasn't planned. That's the point I'm trying to make. It wasn't planned. You know, when you you're a young kid or whatever, they ask you what you want to be when you grow up. This was never the plan. It was not planned. So I'm like, listen, I'm following your lead. I'm not asking no questions. The way I could describe it, literally overnight, I'm graduating. And I'm a chaplain. And I'm like, I'm here. Like I did it. And then it hit me. And I'm like, this is what God wants for me. Okay. I don't want nothing else. And shortly before you knew it, things just started falling in place. And I just started choosing who. I realized I had a choice of who I wanted to be at the same time. I'm like, I choose you. So that energy you feel is because I choose to be this way. This is I choose him, and this is who I choose to be by all means, you know, because I have that choice. I have that choice.
How does it make you feel having a choice, right? And being known in the hip hop world, being able to use something. One of the 5 elements of hip hop is dance, right? So, how does it make you feel when you're able to introduce somebody that may or may not have heard about God, but you use dance, you use hip hop as a way to introduce them?
Well, that's crazy you mentioned that. Since 2013, God already was introduced into the hip hop world when it came to me. My kids will have a segment where they was dancing to gospel music. Again, I was doing things and didn't know, but I knew I was somewhat connected. To me, it's just my covering, right? For example, I'm in a club one day and I haven't seen this person in a long time. I tell him, he's like, what's new? I tell him what's new. He tells me what's new. He got his own restaurant, kicked off, whatever. I'm like, well, guess what? I'm a chaplain. I'm happy to say I'm a chaplain. Like, I'm like, who I am. He goes, you a chaplain? What you doing here? I said, well, I can't be. Why can't I be here? Yo, tell me the DJ did not start playing Revolution right in the middle of the club. I said, this is why I'm here, because it don't matter where I'm at. He's with me wherever I go.
Right.
And look at the music. Wait, we gotta get disconnected. No, we didn't.
Somebody tried to call you, right?
I didn't think it would disconnect like that. So I just I think it's already been there. You understand? And I don't hide it. It is what it is. I call it hip hop ministry. However you want to put it. You get what I'm saying? So
I mean, you know, I asked that because I remember growing up, and even now sometimes you meet these older people, right? And if you don't wear a suit to church as a young man, or you don't wear a certain dress, a way that they dress, as far as being a woman within the church, they automatically kind of shun you for how you dress, right? And I remember when Kirk Franklin came out with the song Stomp, right? And, and and he had Tim's on in the video, right? He had Tim's on in the video, and it was like this is what you're missing, right?
Come on.
So now a lot of people don't know that Kirk Franklin is the only Christian singer that sung at Nelson Mandela's funeral in Africa, which is predominantly Muslim.
Come on.
Right? But to what you're saying, the ordained purpose, right? The core purpose on him being where he was and you being where you are was already predestined.
Come on, talk.
Right?
Come on.
So, like, you can, I don't need you over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to get over here. Yeah.
What?
Like, I don't want you to start getting crazy.
It's not. It's just the shoulders. The shoulders move. Go ahead.
Just a little simple shoulder.
It's the shoulder.
So because we both limited on time, you got something to take care of. I want to get you back, right? I want to get you back, even if it's on a day where I don't have no one else on and it's just you, or when I have multiple other people on or whatever, because I like to ping pong and get different perspectives. Generally, sometimes I know I can hold certain conversation with you because, because of the Bible, and we know the same language because of that, right? Whereas if I'm talking to somebody that doesn't know the Bible as well, they're gonna feel like I think I know everything. So but I do wanna get you back on, right? Whether it's by yourself or with with a group of my compadres, because our good friend Sham just was telling me she want to come on, but I'm like, this is not for you today. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do something different. But I do have a question for you as a woman of Christ and a chaplain. We've come from an era of hope, right? So to speak, in a lot of ways, right? And hope allowed our grandparents and great grandparents to stay married and get married and not get divorced, right? And right now we're in what I say sometimes is the hopeless era, because it's a lot of hate and divorce and people that don't even really want to get married all at once.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? And what do you feel like we need to do as a body?
I'm not gonna lie, a lot of things came to mind when you said that. I'm not blaming it, but it does play a big part. The things that we see, the things that we hear, the things that are just right here. And I'm talking about, we're so immune and sensitive to what social media brings out, right? The music today, simple. If a rapper is talking about a certain drink, that's the new drink everybody's gonna start drinking. There was a time when baggy jeans was in. Once these rappers started wearing them fitted jeans, notice the style. Because trust me, nobody's wearing them fitted jeans 2000s in the early 2000s. That would have looked very weird, right? Why doesn't it look weird today? Because it's in style, right? It's not an issue. My son wear fitted jeans. I'm just saying so people can understand how easy we're influenced when we say we're not, but we really are, right? We really are. But here goes the icing on the cake. You got to figure out what your purpose is. Once you figure out your purpose in life, it'll be tunnel vision for you. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna know exactly. I'm sorry, I think I got off topic a bit. You're gonna just have tunnel vision, and you're gonna be straight on point. You understand? And straight on course. Ask that question again, because I got off for a second. I think I heard you, but what was the question? Sorry.
Well, I only asked one question. You was answering it.
No, I'm sorry, because it started off with me saying it was so much in my head. So I'm like, dag, but ask it again.
Oh, okay. So I said, how do we as a body get back to the love, to actual staying married instead of always being divorced? because
Thank you.
um
Got it. Sorry. You got to find God. Like that's straight foremost. There's some YouTube, not YouTube. Sometimes when I get on some of these podcasts or whatever the case might be, when they're talking about relationships, I'm just saying in my head, you're trying to find this person, or you saying this is what you want. The question in hand is what God wants for you. You get what I'm saying? So it could be as simple as, does God want me in a relationship right now? Right? Now, what if God don't want you in a relationship right now, but you want it so bad, you're going to take whatever comes to you. What you expect to happen? You're not going to have longevity. That's not your soulmate. Like, I really believe in soulmate. You understand? I really believe everybody, God has that special someone for you. And when somebody starts, that's why I started with purpose. Sorry. Everybody has a purpose. When you find out what that is, you'll be fine. And God is going to bring you that person. But it's not your timing. People think it's thank you, baby. People think it's their time. It's not your timing. It's his timing for you. And we mess up when we when
right.
we when we on our timing. I want it now. I'm gonna go date. I'm gonna go on this dating site. I'm vulnerable right now. I just
You
broke, but I want a man right now. What you think is gonna come out of that?
you have you have you ever studied the book of Ecclesiastics?
I definitely did not. There's only a few books I could name off my 5 hands that I probably done. And
No, so I,
I,
I I only asked you that because I can't hear you. Say that again.
no, I'm listening to you. My son writing me notes while I'm on
Okay.
while I'm talking to you.
So, but I only asked you that because I actually studied it, and in the book of Ecclesiastics, King Solomon used the word vanity 38 times, right?
Okay.
And he was kind of showing the state that he was in, right? Some people hear the word vanity and they think of a vanity set. Um, but vanity in biblical terms means self-will, self-motivated, selfishness, um, all about self, pretty much, right?
Okay.
So when you begin speaking about what we want, right? It's the state of vanity,
Hmm.
right? The mindset of vanity,
Okay.
because it's no longer what God's will was for you,
Come
but
on.
what you will for yourself.
Come on. And it's okay. It's okay. There's nothing bad about it. But when that's all you going about, because there's a lot that I want and God done blessed me for it. But I had to wait. Like, God, I want this. Okay, I'll do this, but please, God, like I'm pregnant right now. I got my kids, but I still want to be able to do this. I want this for my life. And listen, 2 kids in, a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old. I'm in season. I'm still being able to live it out. But I had to put the work in to do so. He put
Right.
me him. He told me to put him first. I said okay. And he blessed me back with that. So it's nothing wrong with the want. You get what I'm saying? But you cannot just X him out. You can't just X him out. You
Right.
can't just X him out the equation. Wait, hold up. Then how you gonna receive your blessing? How you know it's from me? You understand? He wants he wants his praise at the same time as he should get. So I just wanted to just highlight that it's okay to want. It's okay to want. It's normal to want. It's normal to want. But
Right. 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 Um, you got about 4 minutes left before you got to make your run. Just before, I want you to ask me anything that you want. Give me a chance, because usually I would have did a Q&A
I
at
got
this time.
I got one.
But I want you to just shout out as many people as you can,
Okay.
so that we won't miss nobody. Tell people where they can find you and
Yeah.
your profession.
Yeah.
And you, because you a jack of many trades, so they got to be able to find you. Okay, I might need a pastor today. I might need, say they might need anything, like,
Right.
so they, let them know where they can find you and how to
Okay, so my Instagram is Tati B 89. My original Instagram guy had, so this is my new one, TATIB 89. Facebook, Tatiana Butler, TATIANNA BUTLER. I'm a dancer. I'm also a singer. I I have that as well. I've done a lot
How
of
much
work
you
in that.
charge for a feature? Because I'm a songwriter. I got hits.
God hit me up for that. We talk about that. Don't put that on here. You could call me for that. Because we gotta revisit that. Um I'm a choreographer. I also do artist and development. So I've done work with a lot of underground artists as well as mainstream artists behind the scenes. A lot of this stuff I don't post because I don't feel like it serves to always post everything. But I do. I'm good at what I do. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So go ahead. Ask
Oh,
away.
shout outs. Wait, my shout outs.
Oh,
First
my
of
fault.
all,
My fault.
I want to give a shout out to my mentor, my godfather, my dance coach. Because my son, it's like my son, of course my son, you know what I'm saying? My business partner, my manager, his name is Richard Reeves. He's a jack of all trades as well. Like this guy wears so many hats. I love you so much. My God family, my children, because they changed my life in so many ways. Sham Bam, stacks of you, of course. Um, my question to you, I had this question from the last live I tuned in that you was in. They was laughing at you, but I was dead serious.
They was laughing at me.
Yeah, y'all was all playing around, and my question was too
I
serious for.
was, I was, I was serious. But go ahead. Ask away.
Nah, it was too. No, it was. Anyway, what is your purpose? And if you don't know, it's okay. What do you think your purpose is, or do you know your purpose? What's your purpose?
So I really believe my purpose is to bring people to God. I hold I hold many conversations where I'm so transparent with people, um, without judgment or partiality.
Mm-hmm.
It was a year where I was sleeping on I slept on the train for half a year, right?
Okay.
And I was going to church every Sunday for the 6 months that I slept on the train.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the pastor of the church that I was sleeping on the train. And he's like, "We gonna get you some help. We're gonna do something about that." And 5 months later, I still was sleeping on the train, right? But there wasn't a Sunday in that year that I didn't bring someone to church,
Come on.
right? And just in the midst of going to that church and dealing with people and holding conversations with multiple people, even in a joking fashion, I noticed that some people that haven't never heard about God are willing to get to know God just from a simple conversation with me,
Yeah.
right? And people that have heard of God enjoy speaking to me because I try to speak their language, right? So, you know, Paul said, "To the Greeks I became a Greek, to the Gentiles I became a Gentile, to all people I became all things that I might win them more."
Mm-hmm.
I know what it felt like to be on both sides of the fence, right? I was in the streets, been to jail, and I know what it felt like to be in corporate America, church, all these different particular places. So in the midst of everywhere that I've been able to speak to a person in a language that they understand about a God that they may have heard about without looking for money. I don't ask people for money. I'm not looking for tithes and offering. You know what I'm saying? This is not a business for me. So generally I believe my purpose is to continue to bring people to God, plant the seed and let him water it and grow it.
Okay.
Um
That's
and that's just what it is.
yes. Okay.
Like,
That's just what I love it. I love it, and I'm happy that you're able to say that. That's what that I love it. I love it.
I mean, oh, you was talking about two different lives because I was actually on the live, not you. The reason, see, and this is what I said. Like, it's certain conversations that are worth having with certain people, right? You have to be on a certain level for me to actually hold that kind of conversation with you.
Come on. Okay.
Because generally, I'm pretty sure that you've received this, if not now, at some point in your life. You receive someone saying, "I hate talking to you, Tati, because you think you're smarter than me." right? No, you think I'm smarter than you, right? I never said that,
Right.
right? So, or because you go to church, you know what I'm saying, you hear the person, oh, you think you holy. You know what I'm saying? Those are weird conversations because I know who I am. You
Yes.
still trying to figure it out,
Come on.
right? The one thing I always express to a person, you see, you made the facial expression. I'm assuming that your facial expression was about my strength, not necessarily about sympathy, right?
Mm.
Um, Generally, when people hear that I slept on the train for 6 months and still went to church and smiled, and I wasn't homeless. I just didn't have a place to stay, right?
Right.
That was mine,
Come on.
right? I started reading these scriptures, and the one thing that I learned was, and when you become the character that you are reading about in the Bible, it makes it easier for you to learn about the Bible. So now King David was running from King Saul, right? And he had his whole family living in a cave. So, you think about a king and he got palace, robe, you know what I'm saying? He rich. He was hiding. He was in a cave. But his situation didn't define him. It didn't make him less of a king because he was living in a cave, right? And for me, it didn't make me less of anything because I was sleeping on the train.
Come on. Come on.
The one thing I always made a joke about though was I would go to Planet Fitness I don't think there's a Planet Fitness in the 5 boroughs that I haven't been to take a shower in, right?
Right.
So I would go to Planet Fitness, I would take a shower, but every time I left one of them, I would look at my arms as if I just worked out. But that wasn't why I was there though, right? Like I was there because I needed a shower. But coming out, knowing that people watching me, I'm like, yeah, that workout was good, right?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
But
Now,
listen,
you
I know that you got to get to work. We're gonna talk because I got to get you back on the show. I want to do something that I did before, right? Once a month I try to have relationship topics, relationship goals, different things of that nature. I also once a month do a show where I just try to raise awareness about what's really going on in our neighborhoods.
yes.
You could come on either show. I would like you to be on one of the shows where I have like 4 different women on the show and it's me by myself because I like to come out swinging and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, a man that's uncomfortable can't walk in the hair salon and come out of there without being scratched. You feel me? So
don't worry,
like,
I left that a long time.
But
long time ago.
I appreciate having you, man. Like I think that you're super dope. And
thank you.
I love the fact that you are like just from like speaking to you, generally in general conversation. I love the fact that you love God, and it makes me, want to be around you. It makes me want to speak to you. It makes me, what I'm saying, want to deal with you because that's something that I'm into. You'll meet 1,000 people that really, really speak to me, and they be like, "Yo, he played too much. He's not serious." But then you'll meet the people that I speak to when it comes to God, and they be like, "Yo, he OD serious about that."
Come on.
Like he's serious about that. So, being able to speak to somebody in a language that we both can agree on, right? There's no, the scripture says, do not argue over scriptures for they speak for themselves. If I'm speaking to somebody and we can agree, that's something fruitful, especially something when it comes to glorifying and edifying God.
Yes.
Without it being tension and us making a mockery of or a fool of ourselves or him in the midst of doing so. Right. We don't have to be all loving hip hop every single trip, or we don't have to get ratchet and throw blows and cuss at each other just to hold a conversation. Right. It's not about the clout. It's about you know what I'm saying? It's about something that's real. So I appreciate just being able to speak to you because I understand what I'm gonna get when I leave the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you. I think you're doing dope things, and just having people in the mix of just being able to communicate, talk, because you'd be amazed what could come out of a conversation, and how people could leave a conversation, like you said. So shout outs to you 1,000. Okay. As much
I appreciate you.
You got your crown. You got it.
we gonna have you. We gonna have you back, man. I don't know. I don't know. My birthday is next week, so I don't know how my next week gonna look. Okay. But sometime in the near future, we got to get you back.
Yes, you just keep me posted. That's it. That's all. The time is there. I'm there. The only thing.
All right, cool. Peace and blessings, man. Have a great night.
All right, take care, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, now I gotta figure out how to get off this thing. I know how to.
It's an X at the bottom of your screen. It's an X at the bottom of the screen where the mic and everything is at.
I see it.
It says leave.
I'm in now.
Rap came from us. It started in the South Bronx. It started with conscious rappers. So to my brothers and sisters who are rappers, see, you're part of a scheme, but you don't realize you are an unwitting collaborator in a scheme that is to destroy you and your future.
Let's be very clear, I ain't here to drink beer, smoke weed, shoot the breeze and break bread with you. I'm only here to resurrect the living dead with you. Thought it was some kind of a game, I'm not playing with you. I got the Moorish warlords with Moroccan sharp swords, Ethiopians with white face camouflage, already disciplined and ready for that sabotage. You listen to Minaj? Word? You should kill yourself and everybody that you came with. Arrangements out of jurisdiction, no arraignment. My name gets mentioned through the ethers, through high frequency speakers. Certified 45, get in line. Make this revolution rap your favorite pastime. Make listening to Coon Tune your very last time. Last time he was CO and now he's gangstified. Pushing keys, catching bodies, man, somebody lied. I'd rather listen to that guy noise, levitate with fly boys, organize an army, bang dead prayers. Understand I'm not a missionary, just the devil's adversary. Extraordinary, compliment the feds. And most listening are subject to conditioning. They need a hook, something snappy just to pull them in. I truly sympathize, I hope this pretty singing satisfies. Now should we get back to business then? Separating gods from the nigga men, separating chicken heads from the heroines. They tell me constantly that I should change my content. You're just too conscious, maybe you should narrow in. Rhyme more about that street like heroin. Make it amplify, glorify the hell you're in. But where the hell you been? Clearly you don't know me then. Spit flame, ethanol, Jada Pinkett set it off. I gang bang on opposition till his head is off. His arm, leg, arm nailed to a cross. You're not a mob boss, Florentini, Machiavelli. Closest you are to Italian is sauce and spaghetti. The flow is deadly, hip-hop jihad medley. They could tell I was a rebel the moment they met me. Gotta respect me, the 85ers wanna sex me. Occupied by the 5, still I let them sweat me. You can bet me, Phoenix if they try to dead me. And the Republic of Gorillas stood ready to wreck me. I pull verses from my spleen for the have-nots who seem caught between the rocks and the hard spots. And most listening are subject to conditioning. They need a hook, something snappy just to pull them in. I truly sympathize, I hope this pretty singing satisfies. Now should we get back to business then? I'm not the only one can tell that something's going on. We hustle harder every day and barely holding on. These big banks getting breaks that we'll be gully on. And they'll freeze your assets, keep your scullies on. The same Babylon upgraded red bottom. And he was about that revolution till the feds got him. My man Scott got 3 to 5 for a bag of weed. But be a priest and rape boys walk scot-free. I bet you thinking that I'm kidding cause I'm throwing stones. It isn't me, it's ancient Masons in my chromosomes. Impatient ancestors raging through my ribosomes. See scrolls translated through a microphone. The freedom banger, hanger, Margaret Sanger. Planned Parenthood in every hood would like to thank her. Bankers, Rockefeller, Bilderberg, Unicom, DuPont, IBM, UNICEF, and Viacom. My verbal firearm annihilate the infrastructure. Comedic lexicon, cause I don't speak the tongue of suckers. I born degrees of the royal pedigrees and leaving mean 16 being in my afterbirth. Still, most listening are subject to conditioning. They need a hook, something snappy just to pull them in. Just West, not Ruby Selah.